World Crypto Network. Please stand by.
There is an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve. There is an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve. There is an infinite amount of cash. There is an infinite amount of cash. Infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve. There is an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve.
Good morning, Bitcoin. The price of Bitcoin has suddenly jumped upwards. The price of Bitcoin is up 5.9% in the last 24 hours, with a last of $55,060, a high of $55,680, a low of $50,000 and $755. That's $1 for 1,818 Satoshis, getting very close to the 1,800 Satoshi barrier. Volume was at 10,109 Bitcoins changing hands. The market continues to lean long, with 96% of the market heading that direction. Bitcoin dominance was at 59%. Taking a check, see if we're on Twitter. Not enough zeros. That's a lot of fives, they said. One person said, you wrote wives wrong. People. Let's see right here. We need to get a Twitter link out about this show. So please stand by. We're just setting up. And then we're going to go exploring on Clubhouse. See if we can get anybody to talk to us. Let us know in the chat, who should we ask to talk to us on Clubhouse today? Check mark. All right. Need a good GIF. Tweet's not a tweet. Oh, done. She can't even go any further. There's a GIF like this available. Is that George Lucas? We have our first guest in Clubhouse. Let's see if he'd like to. Oh, I know Caleb. Maybe he'll come up on stage. Caleb will be our first victim here on Clubhouse. Oh, very good. You're teaching me that we're not linked on the Bluetooth yet. Give me a half a second here. One more thing. It's always one more thing. This amateur broadcasting. See, it says it's linked. Let's try off. And let's try on again. Let's see. We're still fighting our way there. Let's see. It says rolling to connect. Okay, say something now. Caleb?
How about now?
How about now? It works perfectly, just like it did the first time.
No.
So Caleb, how's it going? The price of Bitcoin just broke $55,000. What do you think about that?
I think like every single day, there's a new all-time high. It came a little quicker than we all thought it would.
I think that's a common refrain. Nobody thought it would go up this fast. Everybody thought, oh yeah, we could spend $70 on drinks here and there, spend it in Bitcoin, not worry about it. But it came back very fast. There's no messing around anymore with Bitcoin.
I heard some people talking about they definitely regret certain drinks or coffees or pieces of things that they bought with Bitcoin like over 5 years ago, because there's a lot more zeros on that price, the opportunity cost now.
Yes, it certainly is. It happened fast. Caleb, who do you think we should invite to join this room? We're just getting started here on Clubhouse.
Well, let's see who is online.
I see it says they're not available. You should text them. Let's see. All these people, they're all in other rooms now, but we need to convince them to join our room. Let's see. That's who we need is Felix. Just getting started here on the World Crypto Network. Say hello, guys in chat. Give us a thumbs up and a share. We're live on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, and Clubhouse. So we're everywhere. Let's see, there's a guy in the chat. It's so funny. You can tell a Bitcoiner now because they have laser eyes. Let's see if laser eyes here in the chat. Crawford, how's it going? What's your name? Where are you from? What do you think about Bitcoin today? He's muted. Oh, well. First day.
I've seen a couple different colors for the eyes. Is there any particular meaning there? If it's yellow, green, blue, red.
Can you hear me now? Sorry about that.
Yeah, we can hear you now. How's it going, Crawford?
It's going well, man. It's going well. I'm loving it. Having a great day with all-time highs. I love it. How you guys?
Oh, it's been pretty fun, man. I thought 50,000 was good enough, but that sudden jump up to 55 just made us think we should have a show and talk about it like we did in the old times back when Bitcoin wasn't worth that much money and no one cared about Bitcoin. No one cared at all.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I've been following you since those early days, man. Those early World Crypto Network shows with Andreas and Christoph Atlas and all those shows. Like that's when I was moving around trying to accumulate Bitcoin. And I really appreciated those shows. I've been a fan for a while. So thank you.
Well, thanks so much, Crawford, for listening even back then. And yeah, I love the old Christoph Atlas shows. I'd love to go back to one of them and check out what he was tracking there on dark markets. He had the funnest little price ticker. It was like Bitcoin, gold, silver, dark coin, which I think later became Dash coin. And he was also tracking like the price of bullets. he was a riot, that Christoph.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it's good. It's good to see you're still doing your thing. I'm loving the fact that we are here at $55,000 Bitcoin, bro. When I say 10,000 was moon for me, I'm serious.
Yeah, I know 10,000 seems like quite an awful lot. And I know everyone's regretting their sells, but still, if you had a sell that was in the profit, it was in the profit. You made money. You just didn't make as much money as you could have if you waited forever. But who can wait forever? We got, bills to pay.
Yeah, exactly.
Very cool. Crawford, who do you think we should invite onto here? Let's see.
Let's see who's on.
I see how they do it now. At first I was all like, be casual, don't invite everyone. And now it's like, I just clicked on 10 people. Someone will show.
Did you invite Corey Swan? Oh, no, he's not on. I don't see nobody on my list is on.
That's amazing. Those Swan guys seem to have a whole room and a whole 24-hour presence here. I don't know if that's going to pay off for them, but it sure sounds like fun for the guys that work there.
They are doing the good work of baptizing people in crypto, man. They're dealing with all the babies, crypto babies.
Yeah, I've definitely seen a lot of that over in the Black Billionaires group. They have a lot of crypto help things and a lot of new things, and they're way more patient than I could be. They do a great job with everybody.
Yeah, I made myself available for all those groups, but I'm like you, man. I don't really have the patience for the same question over and over. Plus, I'm not really a good Bitcoin salesman. Not many people that I told about it early really listened to me. So there's that.
It was really hard to tell people about early because I feel that too. I'm looking at my my family and everything, and I'm like, why don't they have a little extra money? Why don't they have a little like kind of freedom like I do? And I don't have that much freedom, but have a little bit, And like, I don't know, they wouldn't listen to me. And I can look at the different messages and the different approaches, and you try to be casual about it because you don't want to spend other people's money. And I've made that mistake before, but again, I was right on that too. I told everybody to buy the Facebook IPO. and Facebook went down in stock price then. But if you held it long enough, Facebook went crazy up. It's a big company. It's pluses and minuses, all those things. But as a stock that you could buy and make money on, it was a fine investment. And yeah, I got so much crap about that it was harder to tell people about Bitcoin than maybe it should have been. Yeah?
You were just ahead of your time, Thomas. We're all ahead of our time, and that's how I'm explaining it anyway.
Well, and I also remember how hard it was to hold whatever little bit you still got left at this point. Everybody who came here last month, they're like, oh, this is easy. You buy Bitcoin at like 20K, it goes to 50K, you double your money. Like any idiot can play this game. And it's like, let's wait for it when it goes down 90%, when it goes down 80%, when you're sitting there for 3 years and you used to be well off and now you're not so well off anymore. And that's, again, it's easy to say, I'll never sell my Bitcoin. But when it's way down, you make mistakes. When it's way up, you make mistakes. I think dollar cost averaging is still the best to get in the game. And even when you're selling, some kind of dollar cost selling where you don't sell it all at once, that's a good idea.
I agree, man. I agree. I got burned. I tried to play the game early in 2013 and 2014. I was trying to trade. I caught the Mount Gox pump and thought I was the smartest guy ever and bought all the way up and then got dumped on, of course. And I tried to play that game all the way up until 2015 when I just had put whatever extra money I had laying around into Bitcoin and then went and got a job, like a real job, and just sat on the coins until now. Like I'm still sitting on them, like since until then. So I was lucky enough to realize I could not win trying to time the market.
That's the way to go. I always tell everybody to keep your job or to get a job. I mean, I never do it myself, but again, I always tell people, oh, what do you think about that, Caleb? Sorry, I cut you off there.
Oh, no worries. I was just going to second that. Time in the market, not timing the market.
Yes, exactly. That's a good point.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it seems, yeah, a lot of people, they're here to time it and they're here to get the altcoins at the right times and get the NFTs at the right times and whatever they're going to do. But yeah, I think the good strategy, you dollar cost average, you buy what you can buy, you hold it for 4 to 5 years, which is an incredible amount of time. I look at my old photos and I'm like, oh, that was only 4 or 5 years ago. I'm not so old. But no, I'm much older. It's bad. So. Let's see. We're checking in with the chat. Not a lot of action. They said they wanted this on Twitter, but they want me to get I don't know, to magically pull guests in here, which I'm trying to do. But there's like silences and everyone hates that too. So why do you guys go ahead, Crawford? Yeah.
Have you done the normal show today? Like where you just talk about Bitcoin stuff?
Oh yeah, man. I'm way on the board today. I did Today in Bitcoin. Then I found this great newsletter by Blockstream, and I'd never heard of it before. But here's this gigantic newsletter full of all these Bitcoin-y facts and not trading advice, but trading information. And I was like, hey, I'll read this newsletter out loud. So I did that for a while. And then we're supposed to do the Bitcoin group in a little while here. But everyone was so jazzed up about the price. Thought I'd try to jump on
Bitcoin
here.
group.
That's right. That's fun, man. Yeah, you're going to have to check it out, man. We're doing another one today. Keeping on it. So.
Awesome, man. That's awesome. Maybe you can help me out with the cold storage thing. I've been trying to set up I bought a Jade, one of those Jade cold storage wallets from Blockstream, but I didn't realize that it doesn't work with Mac OS or iOS. And so now I have to try to get an Android phone to set it up. Is there any other way I can go about that?
It sounds like an early limitation of that new wallet. I haven't tried it yet myself. It's supposed to have like Bluetooth and a camera and all kinds of strange things for a hardware. Oh,
are you muted or?
I was muted. I was talking to the radio people. I have all these mute buttons, but yeah, no, I think that's probably a limitation of the early Jade wallet. A lot of people come from Android and they're like, that's way easier. Like all my friends right now won't join this Clubhouse chat because they all have Android and they're all like, oh, iOS, that's a baby's operating system. So yeah, that's probably an early limitation. But I was also saying I don't know, that's an interesting new hardware wallet that has, I hear it has Bluetooth. I hear it has a camera. I don't know. Normally a hardware wallet's like something that's kind of offline and very hard to crack. So when they add in new stuff like that, I'm like a little bit like, I don't know about that. You know, put some money on there, maybe not put all the money in the world on there. But yeah, you might just get an Android. What do you think? Is it worth it to get an Android to get the wallet working?
I don't know. Now that you mentioned the Bluetooth and the camera, it does have Bluetooth and it does have a camera. But I haven't set it up yet because I haven't been able to get it to work. But and this is really just an experiment for me because I'm working with like a hardware wallet right now. And I just don't think that's good optic. So I've been trying to research some cold storage stuff, and I thought that might be an easy cold storage wallet to get and kind of throw it in a little safe somewhere. But now I can rethink that. Now I got to rethink that.
Yeah, I like the Trezor. Just going back on the hardware wallets, and any hardware wallet will do though, like a Trezor or a Ledger, and especially if your plan is to put it in a safe deposit box, which is probably the best place for it, and then maybe you hide your key somewhere else, or put the key in the same box, or put the key in a second box, or whatever you want to do with the key. But the main thing I'd say is, yeah, keep that Bitcoin away from you. That's the problem. Is that, you know, you get your hands on the Bitcoin, then you want to sell it or you want to trade it for a nice car or a couple months of rent, something like that. And
yeah,
that's
I'm trying to make it as difficult as possible to get to it.
That's it, man. And it's a hard thing where you want to say like, I'm an adult, like I already do a good job not eating cookies. And, you know, that's not true. I love cookies. And at the same time, it's like, you know, yeah, you just got to hide that stuff. You got to like have that moderation that no one else has. So.
Yeah, I think I said hardware wallet earlier. I'm trying to put it on a hardware wallet, but I'm using a desktop wallet right now, just on my computer every day. So the computer I use every day, my daily driver, is where I keep my Bitcoin, and I just don't think that's good option. So that's why.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting too. You're riding on the edge of things there because anything could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a safe computer user. I'm a damaging computer user. So yeah, I would worry about me destroying the computer by installing stuff. I would worry about other programs installing bad things, or just like nature, like you drop it or it breaks or something physically. Or yeah, that's a rough one. You gotta be careful. I think if you want to get started, here's let's do like a $10 or $100 experiment with me. What I would say is get a Green Address Wallet for Android or Apple. It's the Blockstream wallet. And what I like about it is it makes you write down your 25 words, and your 25 words are your key. So as long as you have that on paper, you have a solid backup. Now, and you probably did this when you set up the wallet on your computer too. But yeah, 25 words down on paper, put the paper in a safe place. That way, if your computer goes to shit, you have that piece of paper. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'll definitely do that. I remember when you used to say that when your computer was going off, it was going secure. So, yeah, I need to figure that out.
Yep, the only secure computer is the one that's unplugged and in the closet. And even then, it's a matter of physical security. Anyone could get into my apartment and get that computer, especially if I go to work or something like that. Fortunately, matter of COVID, my home security is probably much increased because I'm here all the time. But in the same way, my OPSEC's probably terrible because you could come get me. So it's a good thing I'm poor. But no, it's tough when you think about the Bitcoin and the different ways to get it. Let's see. There's some questions in the chat. Let's see what's going on in chat. Pedro says, Thomas, everybody is stunned and waiting to see where this all goes from here. Yeah, the price did kind of take off quite a lot just this morning. I'm trying to page over. There it is. Okay, so we're still at 54,632. We can see that we touched 55,680, and we went down from there pretty quick. But we also went down from there in the way where sometimes it goes right back up over that same top. So it doesn't look like the end of the world. I mean, we're looking at the Bitcoinal fund chart here. Let's get serious. Put that night view on. It's like Knight Rider. Okay, so now we can see the candlesticks a little bit better. There are some pretty good sized red candlesticks there forming another triangle coming up, another decision point. So we're going to be watching that here on the World Crypto Network and in Clubhouse. Let's see what else you guys say in chat. And remember, if you want to type something in chat, I'll read it later. There's a bit of a delay. Vesto Wax says, sorry, and also I'm going to butcher everyone's names and try to read from across the room too. He says, avoid Apple, avoid slave labor, don't buy China. Yeah, I wish I could. And I do respect the idea of consumer choice and consumer choice improving things. I think Apple has improved the conditions in their factories since more people learned about it. Documentaries, the suicides, things that have happened there. Yet at the same time, as a consumer and as a person that uses my camera like kind of for work, I need to have the best camera available. I didn't even say phone, I said camera. So yeah, so I'm kind of stuck with Apple. Apologies. Let's see what else they say here. If all Chinese products had Apple's quality control, a shame about the child labor, says AR Forsgren. I probably said that wrong. Forsgren? Forsgren. But yes, it is a shame. They do better sometimes. He says forced labor and slave labor. Apple has been paying lobbyists to fight the United States Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act, scumbags of the richest order. Well, good companies also do bad things, so it is very possible. Gurr says you put your spinny discs on a shaky table. Yeah, I know. I have lots of hard drive problems, but I blame the table. Here's a topic for us. AR says OKX is delisting BCH and BSV. So let's go down the line. Caleb, what do you think about OKX delisting BCH and BSV?
OKX is they've got some personal history with BCH, right? I mean, it's definitely within their right to do that. Power to them.
I think it's an interesting part of the scaling war that it's still kind of going on. There's still these old feelings and these old ideas about these coins, although they seem as different could be. Crawford, what do you think about the delisting? Should they be doing it?
Absolutely. I didn't even know BSV was still a thing, man. They should delist that from everywhere. It's still trading.
They had a good reason too. They said it was for customer confusion. They didn't like selling 3 different versions of Bitcoin. It didn't make sense to them. It made more sense if you go to their exchange, you want to buy Bitcoin, you walk out the door with Bitcoin, right? And that's one of the big excuses against the whole splitting off thing as well. AR even said the same thing I'm saying, that it was, so the noobs don't get taken advantage of. And I agree with that. They say, what's BSV at these days? I think BSV is well down, but BCH might be up comparatively. Most of the altcoins went.
Is there any way TSW can bring suit against them for this action?
Can he sue them for not offering their coin? Not really. I think he could just make a big stink about it in public and be kind of jerky about it. What do you think, Caleb? Can he sue?
I think he'll try.
Absolutely.
But you got to respect that guy for trying to sue. And it's one of those funny but sad things today. I saw a Facebook message from John McAfee, and it's not like the old Facebook and Twitter messages from John McAfee when he used to pump the altcoin of the day or talk about his luxurious lifestyle on the boat and his many handguns. This one was, and I'm trying to paraphrase, but yeah, it was, my cellmate is a genius at building things out of cardboard and toothpaste. He's built bookshelves and a lamp and all kinds of things. I'll bet if this guy went into a hardware store, he could build a teleporter. It was like, oh my God, McAfee. So we'll have to see if Craig Wright is one day making similar prison messages. Let's see. Vesta Wax has trading information for us. Nice. He says that the position on the board is likely another ascending triangle. Buy. So that's good. But he disagrees that Apple's improving. He says things have gotten worse. Look at the revolts in Sri Lanka. Yes, it is very bad. It's Sri Lanka, formerly Ceylon, but now they call it Myanmar, Bangladesh. Yeah, it's all the same thing. See. Go ahead, Croft.
No, I was going to say China is really pushing the envelope with human rights violations these days. And it doesn't seem like any country wants to be the one to step up or stand up to them.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't going to happen during the pro-business Trump administration. And even though the Biden administration is certainly well more liberal and more democratic than the Trump administration, it's still not a progressive dream come true. I don't see them sacrificing businesses anytime soon. Recently, the most recent piece of news I read about Biden is that they had reactivated the ICE raids and that they weren't going to be having a soft immigration policy. They were going back to hard immigration policy. So we all got to remember Biden's the one that wrote the crime bill. I think it was the crime bill that had 3 strikes you're out, which was a really bad law that put a lot of people in jail because of mandatory sentencing, all that kind of thing. If you go to jail for this, you have to go to jail for X number of years. He was in favor of all that. He's recanted. Right? He says he made mistakes and it was bad and everything, which is cool. And like most people don't recant when they make mistakes, but he was still the guy that did all that. So
didn't he recant on the campaign trail though? That's a little different than a regular recant.
Yeah, I think he did. It wasn't. The problem with Biden is he's been on the campaign trail since like 1988. So like I think he did it in 92 and he recanted in 99, but he's still running for president now. So your point's well taken. I totally agree. So let's see what else they say in the chat here. Good to see a live stream with more than 15 people. Well, everybody's got to give us some thumbs up and keep it going. We try to keep these going, but also if we went on for like 3 or 4 hours here, I think we'd get some more people. But I think we're going to cut out before too long for the Bitcoin group. But mainly we just wanted to get this little price chat in. Let's see what they say at the bottom. Biden also authored the first draft of what became the Patriot Act. I don't know about that specifically, but I am against the Patriot Act. The let's see, protecting America through something. I forgot. But it's a great acronym. He says you should buy Apple products used on the secondhand market. That's good. That's a good workaround. So that would be a good way of getting the product, but not helping the company. So I see that. Biden is a centrist like Obama. I agree with that. I think that's what we're going to see is a lot of centrism. The price of Bitcoin is still up 5.89% with a last of 54,979. We're looking at a possible ascending triangle. Definitely looks like we're going into a triangle formation. We've upgraded our chart technology here on bitcoinal.com. Thanks to everyone tuning in. Be sure to give us a thumbs up and to subscribe down below. We're welcome to your comments or questions in the chat. What should we talk about? We're also live on Clubhouse. If anyone wants to join us on Clubhouse with Caleb and Crawford. Everybody's named C on Clubhouse. Let's talk a little bit about laser eyes. Crawford, can you tell us about your laser eyes? When did you get them and what does it mean?
Absolutely. I got my laser eyes today, and it's a meme on Twitter where people are changing their eyes to lasers to show that they're focused on the new target of $100,000 for 1 Bitcoin. And we are laser eyes until 100K on Twitter. And I took the liberty of changing my profile on Clubhouse also, just to show my support even more so. But yeah, that's what it's all about, man. You should change your eyes to laser eyes, even though you've already got like a funky bug thing going there.
Yeah, I got a pretty good lasery look already, but yeah, it's a fun meme. At first I was kind of mixed about it. I'm not really crazy about any of the price memes. I don't really like the what is it? Just have fun being poor. That just seems mean. I don't like that one. It's okay if people want to use it like a freedom and everything, but yeah, that one's kind of mean. But the laser eyes, I like it. There's nothing negative about it. It's like fun. I'm a Bitcoiner. I have laser eyes. I could even take it a little further and say like we're all secretly mutants. I kind of like that idea. And of course, remember the X-Men, the mutant book. It was really talking about like Malcolm, or not Malcolm X, but more like Dr. King. and they were talking about the other people and being the same and not being outcasts, and all the stuff they did against mutants in the comic books is really a metaphor for the civil rights movement. And
I didn't know that.
yeah, no, yeah, it's well widely discussed, but yeah, it's Stan Lee was really into his times. He's a really great creator of like comic books and things, especially about marginalized people. Like Spider-Man is a nerd, and even going back originally, like the original comic book Superman, it was created. I'm not outing anybody here, but it was created by two Jewish guys, and he's kind of like the Jewish Superman, and he takes off his tie and his glasses, and he becomes a Superman. And it was about people that are small people in the world becoming big people, and having superpowers. And that's kind of the metaphor for all those books, is like marginalized people, small people getting power, at least the good ones, the ones that I like. So
That's pretty cool to know. But you mentioned the have fun staying poor meme, and here's what I think about that. I think that meme came about. It's like being at your wit's end with someone who is a no coin or a Bitcoin denier or something like that. We've all been there. I'm sure several of us have talked to people about Bitcoin, and they just don't get it, and they refuse to get it. Maybe they're being intellectually dishonest. They don't want to consider facts that they know to be true or something like that. And so maybe when you're at your wit's end, you say, "Have fun staying poor." I don't know. I've wanted to say it to people. I've never said that to anyone, of course. I feel kind of like you, that it's rude, at least, if not mean. But I've wanted to say it to people before. Even recently, I was just told that Bitcoin was a get-rich-quick scheme. Just recently, by someone that I've been talking to about this for years. So it was funny and it's crazy. And of course, and then I wanted to say have fun staying poor, but I get it.
yeah, I agree with you. That's a nicer way to think about it, of like a goodbye to someone that's been critical, that you've tried to convince of Bitcoin, and you've had a long conversation with, and you're like, okay, I've had enough. But even then, yeah, it's still too mean to say. And I still feel, and again, it's their right to not take this risk. It's an incredible risk to put your money in Bitcoin. Even if you sell some and hedge a little bit, like I've done, you still have a lot of money in Bitcoin. You're out of your mind. It's okay for your friends not to want to do this. You can't be like that mean to them. But at the same time, when you're like taking time off or buying a new car or going on a trip or whatever you want to do because you took a risk and it worked out, they can't be all salty with you. But it doesn't quite work that way. They're salty anyway. So hopefully we all get enough money we can take our friends with us on the trip, or we can get something that we can all enjoy, like a boat or an RV or something. We can all go out on the boat, something like that. Like that's what I'd like to see.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, too many people planning what they're going to do with their money, not like who they're going to spend it with. And it's more about that. It's about the friends and stuff. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Oh, yeah, I know. Biden and Trump. Oh, yeah. We're not supposed to talk about that. This is a Bitcoin show. Come on, guys. Here we go. Gene Simmons bought ADA. What do you guys think of this? Gene Simmons from KISS. He's new in Bitcoin. Respect. KISS is an epic group. I want to rock and roll. I want to party all day, rock and roll all night, fucking it all up. But no, he follows World Crypto Network on Twitter. So that's super cool. Can't take it away from him. Tons of respect. And he retweeted Mad Bitcoins one time, and that was epic. But recently, he's gotten a little questionable in his choices. He started out, he's like, I bought a bunch of Bitcoin. And then he's like, I also bought a bunch of Dogecoin. And we're like, oh, okay, well, whatever, you're a celebrity, you're like new to this, you'll learn. And then he's like, a few days later, he's like, I bought a bunch of Ethereum. I think it's cool. It does stuff. We're like, oh, yeah, a lot of people think that. We'll see how that goes. That's cool. And then a couple days later, now he's like, I bought a bunch of Cardano because it's priced in pennies. And I want things to be that lots of people can buy them and they only cost pennies. And we're like, that's not really a good reason to buy something, man. So let's go down the line here. Caleb, what do you think about Gene Simmons? Grade the various picks: Dogecoin, Cardano, Ethereum, Bitcoin. What do you think? Or Crawford, if you're here. There we go. Caleb first. Go.
Sounds like he's going through a natural progression that people nowadays, when they get introduced to Bitcoin, are going to go through, where they want to find the next Bitcoin. Really, I mean, the last thing that you're saying about ADA is textbook unit bias, and that's the type of thing that makes me feel the way that that Crawford does sometimes, and make you want to say that mean thing. So like, I don't know. As long as he's not buying Ripple, I'm not gonna hate on Gene Simmons. Just gonna throw that out there.
He's only a couple of days away from that, and if they still had it on the exchange, he might have bought it already. Crawford, what do you think about Gene Simmons' interesting choices?
I personally think his clown makeup has never been more appropriate. This is appropriate for when you're shilling something like 80A. But also, I feel like Caleb, he's making the natural progression through the shit coins, and he'll eventually find that the actual value is in Bitcoin. And he seems like a smart guy, pretty astute guy. I feel like he'll find his way.
I also love the fun of for him. He must have a lot of money. He must have a lot of investments and things. He's not really worried about it because he said he went 7 figures into Bitcoin, and I did my math. That's $1 million, or more. And he said he went 6 figures into Dogecoin, and I did my math there as well. That's $100,000 or more. So he's riding some crazy waves there with the Doge and with the Bit, and I assume now with the Ethereum and the Cardano and whatever it's going to be in a few days, like Caleb said, Stellar or Ripple or Tether. Tether would probably be a good buy. I'd like to see Gene Simmons. I've gone 7 figures into Tether, and even though I'm not crazy about Tether, at least it's supposed to be a stable coin, so you might be okay. Let's open this up. We still have a little bit of time left. E in the audience, would you like to join us? And Joseph in the audience, it says you're brand new, so maybe you'd like to join us as well. We are
Bring
also,
them up.
they're coming up, but we're
Welcome,
also,
guys, especially the party hat. Party hat, you gotta come up.
I'm just here to say hi to Caleb. What up, bro?
What's up, Eric?
Been too long.
So E, what do you think about Gene Simmons? Is he making good decisions with all these altcoins? Welcome, Joseph. How's it going, man?
Sorry, Thompson. What was the question again?
What do you think about Gene Simmons from KISS and his altcoin purchases recently?
Oh, I think it's fine, but I think he's playing the same trend as like Musk and everyone else. So we don't know if he sold or not. So all we know is he bought. So right.
Yeah, he's
So
definitely not going to tell us if he sold for profit or if he got out early or whatever he did. He's not. We don't got a live look into his books. Joseph, welcome to Clubhouse. How's it going, man?
Hey guys. Hey, good. Thanks. I just joined. I haven't really heard what you're talking about specifically, but as far as the celebrity endorsements, I got some thoughts. I think that as this market continues to penetrate deeper and deeper, you're gonna have every celebrity say, "Wonder if I buy this, and I wonder if I blast my social media if I can pump my bags." And I think that's the Dave Portnoy effect almost. They're gonna see if they have the reach to possibly pump their bags, and hopefully they don't all take the Portnoy exit when they realize that this market is much bigger than any one celebrity. I guess Elon Musk is a little bit of an outlier, but it'd be interesting to see. I haven't really been upset with Gene Simmons' choices. I'm glad to see him hop into Cardano, but I think that's just an interesting phenomenon to watch.
I especially liked watching it with Lindsay Lohan. She had one tweet where she was like, "Bitcoin seems really cool." And I was like, "Oh no, this is the top of the market. Everyone should sell. It's over." And then a couple days later, Lindsay came out with her second tweet. And I don't want to, cast fingers or here or anything, but she was talking about Tron and Justin Sun, and it seemed really obvious she was probably paid for this tweet. And it was super funny to see her account go that way so fast.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it is funny just how much stigma is surrounding some of the Tron tokens and coins. I still hold my Tron from back in the 2017 run. We'll see if it ever eventually hits at 22 cents. But it's an odd phenomenon. I think that should there be some. I mean, Tron's not doing so terribly. I mean, we just drifted to get above 6 cents. It'd be funny to me that if we do see some price accumulation happen there, and then once the haters maybe take a turn to hop into the action there, that'd be interesting. But I don't know. I think that in this type of market, there's enough other coins popping that the haters will never turn that corner.
We are so young in this industry, though, to think that okay, if people don't like Tron, maybe they don't like Justin Sun personally, or they don't like the like pre-sale or whatever they did that made people mad. They still own BitTorrent, the real company, and I think they've bought some other things too. And all kinds of these company, these little coin things, end up with giant companies attached to them. Maybe if they just got a change of leadership and like a professional new crew, like you're saying, they could erase all that old stuff, still be Tron, and take you above 22 cents or whatever you need to make a profit and get out of there. So, yeah.
It almost seems like these crypto coins just need to go through a name change to get a pump. I mean, we saw that with Matic, and then back in the day, which was it? Ryblock switching over
Dark
to Nano.
Coin, the Dash.
Yeah, Dark Coin to
exactly.
Dash. I was thinking that one. Yeah.
Name change might be bullish for these dead coins.
It was so funny. It was always
ETH too.
ETH too. It was so funny though. I do
Yeah.
think they always had this in their bags in the old days. They were like, yeah, let's change our noise, get a pump. Let's change the algorithm, get a pump. The other one I liked was anonymity technology. They did that on Litecoin for a while. They're like, we're gonna make Litecoin anonymous. This is why you should buy Litecoin. And yeah, Charlie Lee is a genius with the promotion. He's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, right, you brought up Litecoin. You know, I'm still pretty bullish on Litecoin, and you know, it hasn't been so bad. It hasn't been pumped as deep as some of these other coins. But I mean, you know, when you look back at the big three, right, the old, you know, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, you know, we've already seen a push through the all-time highs from, you know, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and we're still sitting pretty low below the all-time high for Litecoin. And yeah, the Mimblewimble privacy, you know, protocol integration with Litecoin, I think is still bullish. I think that, you know, a lot of questions I've been seeing in a lot of these clubhouses is surrounding, you know, bans, restrictions, regulations. And a lot of the answers are, you know, we need to just penetrate as deep as we can into our infrastructure to make it more difficult to ban or restrict. And, you know, what is ban going to do? You see, you know, the price premium in Nigeria. But I do think that eventually, when maybe after more of these central bank digital currencies, you know, start being deployed, and these governments and institutions, you know, really try to position themselves in a different way surrounding some cryptocurrencies, I think privacy tokens are going to have their day. It's just a matter of when. So, you know, I'm still bullish on Litecoin, and you know, I do think that there's quite a bit of headroom to grow there. I kind of feel that the same way about Chainlink. You know, Chainlink has done well, but it's almost been a stable coin at like $33, $35. When so much other stuff is pumped, it almost feels like, you know, traders might come in and say like, what has not pumped yet? But yeah, Litecoin is interesting, and I think that the fact that they're trying to implement privacy is also interesting.
Yeah, I've definitely heard that about Litecoin. People are saying it's the one that hasn't been pumped. And you know, normally that's tough logic to go on because, you know, not everything pumps. But this crazy crypto game that we're in, maybe everything pumps. I never want to rule that out, and people, you know, can believe in what they want to believe in. It does look like the price of Bitcoin might be going up. We were looking at 55,000 again just a second ago. It did look like the triangle that we had formed has been broken slightly upward, but we are still looking at a red candle. Let's see. They're saying in the chat, Vestawax is not a fan of Tron. He says Tron is greasy. Check out Graham Stephan's video where he got celeb spam to help pump Tron. And a lot of these things they did in the past might be pretty hard to get rid of. Might take more than a name change and a new CEO. But yeah, because a lot of people do remember some of these things. Also, AR says Tether claimed they had Bitcoin to back up everything they printed, but they could never prove it. They finally agreed that it spread out amongst altcoins. Not sure on that. I've heard it was spread. They had like dollars in different bank accounts. They had different money. But yeah, Tether's a complicated thing. We'll have to see how that goes. Oh, AR says, watch out for Litecoin. Everyone's afraid that Charlie will dump on them again. That's an interesting stain to get rid of there. Your founder, I think he was just very good on the timing. And he just wanted people to stop saying to him, Charlie, you only care about Litecoin because you got a big bag of it. So he said, all right, I'm going to sell it. And as it is, he sold the all-time high and he crushed everyone.
Yeah, that was interesting timing. And yeah, I think you're right about not everything will pump, but I do think a lot of people aren't looking into the underlying projects, and they are like specifically thinking about a game theory mindset. You know, it's definitely a spread market, you know, but I'm with you. I wouldn't rule out the game theory.
my question about the other coins is, what feature could they implement that Bitcoin couldn't also implement? Now, I understand the privacy coins and that thing, but is there something that they can actually do that Bitcoin can't do? And then also I wanted to ask, is there, can Litecoin, I mean, not Litecoin, I'm sorry, Lightning, can Lightning implement some sort of privacy feature on top of it?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting topic. I mean, Litecoin used to be considered Bitcoin's testnet, right? Litecoin would have a smaller market cap, not as much, money locked up inside of it, and it could test protocols, Bitcoin. But you're right. I mean, I've heard that argument quite a bit. Like, what can't Bitcoin adopt that these other coins have? And I don't know as much about the Lightning Network, but I do know that there is you can have Lightning channels that are like not broadcast, and their addresses are more or less shielded and secret, and you would need to know them specifically to interact with them. So, I think there is some elements of privacy there.
So we might be able to compete with coins like Monero and those other privacy coins, or coins that might be looking to implement more privacy features. We might be able to compete with them with something on the Lightning Network.
Yeah, if the users want it, I mean, if the users want it in a wide enough base, there's nothing I don't think Bitcoin can't do. But I think that Bitcoin is just good at being Bitcoin, right? And I think that it's going to be more or less the payment rails for large transactions of the future. It might not be the coin that we use to buy coffee. We might use like some Lightning Network additional layers, or possibly atomic contracts to swap between coins. But I do think that in the future, if I'm going to make a Louisiana land purchase type of deal, I'm not going to be using boatloads of gold. But I do want to use the world's most secured computer network to transfer incredible amounts of value with security and guarantees. So it's kind of a long shot, but I think that Bitcoin is going to be the payment rails for large purchases in the future. We'll see how these layer twos go, but there might be other coins like something to consider. IOTA, the fact that they don't even use a blockchain that uses a Tangle, it's like near instant and there's zero fees. Something like that is going to be, I think, the economy of machines in the future. So a lot of people are like, well, there can only be one. We're so used to, the fact that it's like, oh, I'm in the U.S., I can only use U.S. dollars. And it makes sense from the standpoint, I can't have 50 different currencies in my physical paper wallet. I can't have like pesos and all this stuff. It makes no sense. But, on my phone or whatever hardware wallet I have, I can have 50 to 100 different digital currencies. And there's so many projects out there that are looking for cross-chain, blockchain applications. I don't think that you're going to just have one single winner. And I think we're seeing that in the market even today as far as price. But different chains for different reasons, and the ability to interact across multiple chains. But I think it would be really interesting that if eventually Bitcoin looked at an upgrade for privacy protocols. I think that watching the Hill and watching these regulators try and react to something like that would be really interesting. And I think the second most interesting thing is, what are these regulators and central authorities going to do after they've successfully implemented a central bank digital currency? That's going to be the time where I'm going to be watching privacy tokens heavily.
Yeah, just to put the old Bitcoin maximalist feeling in here. Okay, so yeah, there's nothing that these coins can do that Bitcoin can't do, but it's a question of whether Bitcoin can do them right now. When Vitalik wanted to build Ethereum on top of Bitcoin, they didn't want to change Bitcoin to let him do it. They wanted Bitcoin to stay very lean and very mean, and they didn't want to add in a smart contract layer and all the potential problems that could come with it. So then he split off and did Ethereum, and that worked out really good because they pre-mined a bunch of Ethereum, so they got to have like a big Ethereum company and all be billionaires and stuff. So I would say the big thing about anybody making a new coin is that they always get to print up a bunch of that new coin and sell it or give it out or whatever they're going to do to make that new coin a reality. And that's just become part of the way things happen. And originally people were more against it, and now people, I guess, are more cool with it. So the other thing that Bitcoin can't do is some of the privacy coins like Zcash had a I forget what to call it, but it's like a ceremony where they create the original coin and the original key, and they use like 5 laptops and they all sit together and they make the keys, and that's what makes it anonymous, is that beautiful ceremony at the beginning, because then they smash all the computers. And then this way, the computer can never be reused again to create that key in the same way. Thus, Zcash is anonymous. There's a lot more to it there. It's a simplified explanation, but stuff like that we can't do with Bitcoin because we can't start it all over again and have one of those fancy ceremonies and then make the Bitcoin again. Stuff like that we're limited on. Other things, like Joseph was saying, like the tangle of IOTA, or the necessity of like billions and billions of units that you might need if you were interfacing with billions and billions of devices. You might want that on another layer or another coin or another blockchain or whatever we're talking about. And then the last thing, yeah, Lightning Network, it's pseudo anonymous. So it's as anonymous as Bitcoin. So if you buy your Lightning coins or whatever you're going to call them from some random person, they send them to your random account. It's on your random computer and you're using Tor all the time. And you buy something from someone else and they're using Tor and they're on a random computer and they have a clean wallet. You could theoretically be pretty anonymous. But Lightning Network's still kind of small. I don't know if you can buy like a Silk Road hit for $100,000 on there, or a house or whatever you want to buy anonymously. Usually the problem is people buying anonymous stuff or buying negative things, and it causes problems. But yeah, I think Bitcoin could do everything. But obviously these other coins have tons of money, tons of marketing, tons of programmers, and a head start. So much like in the world of open source, we were always like, Linux can do anything. Don't count Linux out. And then Microsoft rushes ahead, or Apple rushes ahead with a beautiful operating system that works perfectly. And at the same time, you're like, Linux can do anything, but they can't make the Mac right now because it took a bunch of money to make the Mac or to make Windows. So I don't know. I hope that helps. What do you think, Crawford?
Sorry, say it again. What was the question?
What do you think? Can Bitcoin do everything? Which side do you come down on? We've had two kind of different arguments here. Where are you going to stand?
Absolutely. I think with time, Bitcoin can do pretty much everything that you need in like a value transfer system. I'm with Joseph. I think it'll be really interesting to see privacy stuff done on the Lightning chain. I think that'll be more beneficial than trying to implement it on the main chain, because that'll take longer and it'll be too large of a change to the core code. So I'm interested to see that. But I do think it can do pretty much everything that we want it to do or need it to do.
I think that's a really fair answer. Bitcoin can do anything given time. And that also gives a chance for these other things. Because again, people can buy these other things for a penny and sell them for 100 pennies. And I'm not an idiot. I know that's more money, and if you want to do that, do it, whatever you got to do. But just for me, you buy that Bitcoin, you dollar cost average it, you wait 5 years, and there's more money there. And, not a good trader. I don't time things or anything like that. But if you follow those simple Bitcoin things, it could be pretty good. All right, let's keep it going. What are they saying in the chat? Talking about XRP, Ethereum fees to
Classic.
move 29 packs. Yeah, XRP is back again. Let's see. AR says he sold a free NFT for $375. Well, that's pretty good if you get the money.
Congratulations.
Yeah, especially if you get to cash it out. It's interesting with the NFTs. It's kind of the same thing that we're saying about printing up your own Ethereum or printing up your own Ripple or what have you. The NFT companies, at least from the outside looking at it, they print up a bunch of like NFT token, and then they let you only buy and sell the NFTs in NFT token. And I think you can see what's going on here. How much NFT token do I have? Can I use it to buy NFTs? I can create the market with fake money.
I'm still on the fence about the whole NFT thing. I feel like I'm missing something. I need to take a closer look at it. What do you think, Thomas? Do you think that industry is going anywhere?
Well, I think it's beautiful because it's like a collection thing. And I'm a collector. So I know exactly what they're talking about. Like right now, I have, I don't know, 2 out of 5 of the REM collector's editions, right? With the 5 CDs and the Blu-ray and the poster and the book, right? And I have no reason to own these, right? I have the music. I have plenty of access to the music. But I'm a collector, right? I have a reason in my head that I think I need to have 5 out of 5 of something. So there's no special value to any of these NFTs or to any collector's edition, anything, but it's the value that someone will pay you for it. So as long as they're able to create that value's there. And as long as they're able to create that collector's feeling that I have. So that's why when I see the baseball cards and the basketball cards and all this stuff coming into NFTs, I shake my head and I say, yes, that's the right thing. That's the thing that people already want. They already like baseball cards. They already like basketball cards. But when you see something like crypto kitties and you're like, do people really want that? I'm not sure. But yeah, I think it's about these collections, about creators, which is, again, you could say very easily, collections are a scam. Like, you are tricking children. You know, you trick them with the Happy Meal toys. You have to get all 5 Happy Meal toys. They're only offered one a week. The children want to eat at McDonald's now. Like, collectors are kind of a scam. So it just depends. It's kind of seen as a lighter, friendlier scam than, say, like Dogecoin, where you say that it has value and it's a real coin. But at the same time, Dogecoin is very similar to the NFTs. Like, people like it because it has a pretty dog and it's just like that. So what do you think, Crawford? You gonna go buy some NFTs?
No, not for the astronomical prices I've been seeing, man. I've been seeing like people paying 60 grand for those socks and stuff like that, man. So what's the likelihood that if someone pays 60 grand in ETH for a digital pair of socks, that will hold value, and 10 years from now they'll at least be able to break even on that thing? Or is that not the idea?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go long on anything like that. I'd go shorter, where maybe if he can sell it again next week for 90, he's a genius. But the guy who ends up with it at 90, I don't know how he's going to sell it for a buck 20. And that sounds like a good case if you get the actual Ethereum or some kind of token that you can move on a real market in exchange for your NFT. The ones that I worry about is where they say, I think it's called wax, but it doesn't matter. It's NFT coin. Any kind of, like, you're locked into the platform. You get to have this coin. You don't know how much there is. You don't know how it's really made. You don't know how it's really mined. You can't really take it off the platform unless they say it's okay. Like, you have to trade it on their platform, all that kind of stuff. And it could be fine. Like, it could be totally good. But yeah, I just get a bad feeling about that kind of thing.
It's really interesting. I think the NFT space right now. I think it's just the early stages of like how blockchain and these types of technologies are going to disrupt art and culture and music. And the fact that some of these first mover tokens like the crypto punks and the hash mask. The hash mask, I think, was just a beautiful implementation of what NFTs could be. But I mean, you could create something, as an NFT, and if it doesn't get enough traction and attention, it underpins the idea of scarcity and tradability, right? I mean, with hash masks, I don't know if you guys are super familiar with that, or if maybe your listeners are. But I mean, the way that they created this rarity amongst their sets, and like certain ones had objects, certain color eyes, and certain like little codes inside the art, and like of the, I don't know, I think there was like 30,000 different hash masks, NFTs created in that set, and like 52 of those had like the different like ace of hearts and all the different cards, like 3 of clubs, and so you could technically collect within the set the 52 decks of cards and stuff. And that type of stuff, to your point, Thomas, is that there are collectors, and there are people that like sets and information. And something that I think we should all know about NFTs is something I didn't know until I kind of dove into it. Is as a creator of an NFT, you can print the NFT, which right now, to bring up the idea of Ethereum gas fees and how ridiculous it is to print. But should you actually mint an NFT, some of these platforms will allow you to put in a what's the word I'm looking for, like a commission rate. So after you mint it, you sell it for 1 ETH. You could hard code it, because these are just coins on a smart contract, right, on the Ethereum blockchain. So anytime that they sell in the future, not from you, that you sell it to person B and they sell it to person C, that you can code on it that you will get 30% of those profits as the minter. So, there's a hyper, incentivization for those who mint these NFTs, that even as these tokens, these little pieces of art or music or whatever it may be, live on in the universe and are traded amongst people and traded up, as we're seeing with the cost of these CryptoPunks and hash masks, that you are still making money as the minter. So I think that just blows my mind. Because I imagine, in legacy world of analog paintings, I paint something and I sell it for $3,000 and then off it goes into, the world of art trade, and I don't see any of those profits. But you can hard code it with these smart contracts and automate this type of behavior. And I think that incentivizes art makers to possibly look at this. And like Mike Shinoda of Linkin Park, he just did an experiment with NFTs where he basically released one song as an NFT, and just looked to sell that. I think he got like $10,000 for it. And, he said that, that was more than he would make, streaming that one song in X amount of time. But from there, and he doesn't care about the copyright ideas of go ahead and just rip it, and share it amongst everyone. Because there is still one singular owner of that song, and there's some kind of experience as an owner that you have Mike Shinoda's song, the official press and release, and he's going to make a commission if that ever sells, and I wonder if that's going to change the copyright in the world of who owns the NFT for this song. If there's any streaming rights, does that go to that person? I think it's going to be really interesting how it changes the landscape of art. But we're in the early days, and I think that this is just the beginning of how this could be a new renaissance for artists to make money, instead of using these centralized record labels. Just as much as we're trying to get off the centralized bed and all these other institutions, the same corruption we've seen in art industries. And so I think it's just the early days, and I think there's first movers like those socks you mentioned, Crawford. The early days NFTs, like these socks, the hash masks, and the CryptoPunks. There's something about the first edition of anything, right? So I think that we'll see the price appreciate there just as much as we attribute value to Dogecoin or Bitcoin or anything else. If enough people believe in it, it has value. So I think it's going to be an interesting renaissance, and we're just in the beginning days of this. So I'm excited about it.
That was a great explanation, man, and that really brings home for me, especially the Linkin Park situation you said. I thought that was really cool, and now I can honestly I see more of the value in it. And how, having something that's minted, and it's like having a card. I get it. I get it more now. And now I have a foundation to kind of look into it. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I think that sounds really cool if the artists can get compensated. I don't know if people will find a way around it and they'll just put layers on top where you don't pay the artist, or they'll work around it. But the idea is a good idea, and I support that idea. So that sounds cool. They're also saying in the chat, Mr. Sheffield says that NFT MP3s will allow a band to make a profit from secondhand sales, and that a band could say issue 1,000 NFTs when they release the song, and you could get that NFT, and then I'm saying with me and my band REM, for some reason I have to own everything that they make, right? So if there are people like that for whatever band it is, these days, they'll buy it, right? So it's not so much that it has value or that it's useful, it's that it's collectible, right?
Yeah, and I think that with Ethereum gas fees being so expensive right now, I think that we're kind of suppressing the NFT market, even though it seems like it's overflowing. Once we solve Ethereum gas fees with either this upgrade or maybe some other layers, I think you're just going to see a complete explosion in the NFT space, because it's it's pricing out a lot of people, at least smaller artists, smaller users from minting their own NFTs when it costs hundreds, if not $1,000 per NFT to press. So I think that we're on the precipice. NFTs, I think that whole market is going to be an extremely lucrative space in the coming years.
Well, if you want to talk about rare NFTs, I've got the rarest NFTs in the business. I've got curio cards. It was a few years ago now. I don't even remember. And I was with some friends and we were trying to start a little company making NFTs before they called them NFTs. And they were called Curio cards and they were on the Ethereum network. And the work that my friend Rhett did in writing our vending machine code that allowed you to send a small amount of Ethereum to the machine and it would send you back the Curio card. That later got referenced into the ERC 721 token standard that became the standard for all these NFTs. So if it's rarity that matters, I have the rarest ones. But it doesn't.
That's really
matter.
cool.
Yeah.
Hold those babies.
I can't because the gas fees cost too much to move them around. I have them scattered in like a random bunch of wallets. I should probably go check on them. It's been a long time, but yeah, they're all, as far as I know, they're all still there. Little ERC tokens or whatever in the Ethereum wallets. So, but yeah, it was a fun time. That's some good stuff. But let's see what else they say in the chat. Oh, everyone wants to talk about the past. What about the future? The price of Bitcoin is $55,087. It does look like it's broken out of the ascending triangle. It was getting to a tighter triangle point, but now there's a possible breakout above 55,000 again. We're also watching the price of Ethereum. Looks like it's still at 1955. It has not, seemingly, at least from the chart we have here, it has not broken above 2,000 like the Ethereum people want it to. Checking out some other coins. Binance coin still crazy up. It's up 65% just today, 139% over the past 7 days. I think I have like $10 in change in there or something. That's probably worth a lot now. Probably not though. I've probably cleared it out. But it's $322 a coin. What do you think about Binance Coin, Joseph? Sorry.
The pancake swap phenomena, of course, is just coming and taking over. Something I'll be looking at. I don't own any pancake. I have a little bit of Binance, like you said. But I was just kind of reminded of what happened with sushi. When sushi swap came around, it was just like a phenomenon. Sushi kept going up and up and up, and some of the coins that were pairs there up until the rewards ended. Right, once the reward multipliers for yield farming, these liquidity pools kind of came to an end, then there was kind of an exodus out of those coins into other platforms, and at that time, sushi, the token, had reached $10, and we're all excited. And then once the exodus happened of the rewards ended, we went down to 50 cents. We all know that now sushi has recovered quite deeply. But today is a very interesting day to talk about pancake swaps because today is the day that the rewards multipliers end for yield farming on pancake swap. So I'll be interested to see, today's the last kind of hurrah. We'll see like if there is an exodus out of those tokens since the yield farming kind of reached its climax, if you will. If we see a sushi, if we see it, sell off as people move to other coins, it seems to me like they've established themselves in the space, and we'll probably see a resurgence of pancake. Back up, or if they'll just learn the lesson and just say, no, we need to stay into this, like sushi did. But today's the day that those rewards end, so it makes sense that we're seeing a blow off.
All right, so Joseph, you got to enlighten me. I feel like an old man very quickly here. I know just a little bit about how the sushi thing took off, and there's a thing called Uniswap. But before that, you got to tell me what this pancakes is. But first, I want to tell you a George Carlin joke. So this is George.
Right.
This is George Carlin's joke, totally not mine. And he says, "I have a message for you from the National Pancake Council. Fuck waffles." So there you go. But no, tell me for real. What is pancake, man? Just.
All right. So pancake. If you check it out on your coin market cap there. Look at the cake token. So it's a built on the Binance, the BSC, the chain, are these tokens similar to what Justin Sun has done with the TRX tokens, or Ethereum has done with the ERC20 tokens. But Pancake Swap you'll see that. Take a look at that over the last few months. I mean, the yield farming on this particular token started back in November, and it's just been on an absolute freaking tear. And this is what is bringing in so much heat to the Binance chain, and it's interesting that so many people are not aware. We're looking at Binance, and we're looking at Pancake, but it's a token built on the Binance chain. You can go to Pancake Swap. I don't know the website. I think it's pancakeswap.com. Don't quote me, but they have a website where basically you can become a liquidity provider between these Binance chain tokens. If you have 50% of BNB and 50% Cake, you stake those onto their DEX, the decentralized exchange, if you will. And so you make a little profit from like anyone that's swapping between those, but they have a rewards multiplier for those that are filling those liquidity pools. So you get like a whole bunch of extra Cake for providing liquidity on these, and the APYs are like crazy because they're multiplied on what you get on a yield curve. So you get a bunch of extra Cake, and you can restake that Cake back into the liquidity pool and just kind of multiply and make all kinds of coins, like we saw with Sushi Swap, right?
All right, so you can have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah. So the rewards are coming to a close today. So we'll see how much deeper this goes, or if we'll see a move away from Cake and BSC coins. Who knows?
Like,
but,
obviously, I'm from the outside here. I don't know anything about anything, but to me, it seems like all my scam tokens go off on my scam radar, and they're probably just printing that one coin to buy the other coin so they can pump it and dump it. But that's not to say that people won't make a bunch of money along the way, and that maybe this is some new form of doing pump and dumps that's like revolutionary. I don't know anything about the swap thing and all this, the farming, but it's so huge, so fast. It sets off all my radar. But again, maybe it's fine. Maybe it's cool. So
yeah, it's a whole new world. You're not wrong. They are printing. They're printing through rewards on the swap exchange. So they're printing like crazy. And incentivizing users to buy, own, and interact with it. So we'll see. I mean, Sushi dropped from $10 to 50 cents after the rewards ended. We'll see what happens here.
Well, that's awesome, and I'm excited to learn about it, even if I don't know anything about it. It's just things are so exciting out here. They're happening so fast. Bigger companies, more and more people getting in. It's just all over the place. But I think we're going to head towards the end of this show. So because we got to get ready for the Bitcoin group, which we're going to start here in just about 15 minutes. But first, I want to give you guys here in the Clubhouse chat, if you want a chance to tell people where they can check you out. If you have a thing on Twitter or a product or anything you want to promote, or just whatever. So Joseph, go ahead. Where can the people check out your stuff?
Hey, thanks. I appreciate that. I am a small trader that thinks like a whale. I've been in the industry for quite some time. I think that more crypto-related material is available on my Twitter at Burton Oaks, BurtonOaks. I am, of course, an anonymous frog on there, so I just doxed myself. And then I do, of course, do some Instagram stuff. I do a lot of stories about all the crypto space there, educating that particular environment. It's weird that I have a lot more interaction with crypto on Instagram as a place, but it's happening. And I'm the Orion Lion on there. But yeah, and Sir Bitcoin here on Clubhouse, just spreading the gospel of what's going on, learning as much as I can as a degen in this space and yield farming. So thanks for the opportunity and good conversation. And if anyone has any questions about anything we've talked about, please reach out.
Yeah, you're always welcome to hang out with us here. If we ever do another one of these, just come on by. And yeah, it's totally good chatting with you, and it's great to learn this new stuff. And again, it doesn't have to be a scam. It looks a little fishy, but again, if people make money, they want to take risks. It's fine with me. Crawford, where are you from? Where can people check out your stuff?
I'm from Memphis. I'm not like really a crypto personality. I've just been here in the shadows and the team speaks and troll boxes for a while. But follow me on Twitter at C Capital LLC. I have a pretty good time on there.
All right. And Crawford, also really good to hang out with you, man. You're always welcome. Caleb, it seems like it's been 5 years or something I think we hung out in San Francisco maybe once, maybe in DC. What are you up to these days?
So, I'm working at private internet access, and people can check out my stuff on Twitter and on the PIA blog. And I also have a little side project that's a review site for cannabis products that people can find on my Instagram.
Hey, I love PIA. I'm also a customer. So that's very cool. You work for PIA. I've heard good things about them. I know they, I think that it's not a secret or anything, but I think they had a CEO that was also called Andrew Lee. That was the same name as the CEO that I had at Purse. And they actually worked together, I think, at one point. So very cool stuff. Private internet access, a great VPN, lets you download what you want and be private about it. So, yeah, check them out, man. Maybe we could get a sponsorship or something. But that's going to be about it for this. We're also going to say hi to everybody in the chat. Thanks for joining us on YouTube. We're going to be right back with the Bitcoin group, but I'm going to like turn it off and turn it back on. I was thinking of ways to try to keep all of this going, but I don't think that's possible. So I'm going to turn it off and turn it back on. But we do plan to do more of these like Clubhouse hangouts in the future. I think there's a lot of cool people here to interview and to talk to. As long as they're okay with it being broadcast. And they seem to have a convention for that with the big red dot and stuff like that. So thanks so much for joining us. And until next time,